Hello students, welcome to your channel Vigyan Ghar. A beautiful paper is going to come on a very beautiful day, that is IIT JAM 2021 is going to be conducted on 14th of February. पूरी साल की मेहनत, dedication, the concepts of biology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, everything is going to pay on a 3-hour paper. And we are left with only 14 days, almost 14 days. What to do now? To start with the syllabus, complete syllabus again, or what? The best way to revise and utilize these lesser number of days is by solving previous year paper. And therefore, Vigyan Ghar bring you to the next set of paper, that is IIT JAM Biotech 2018. 2018 mein IIT JAM Biotech was conducted by IIT Bombay. So let's start. I'm sure by now you are familiar with the pattern of the examination. In this video, we are going to talk about section A. The section A consists of 30 multiple choice questions. The first 10 questions is going to carry 1 mark and the rest 20 questions is going to carry 2 marks. Yes, there is negative marking. Remember that. For all 1 mark questions, 1/3 marks will be deducted for each wrong answer, and for all 2 marks question, 2/3 marks will be deducted for each wrong answer. So be cautious and let's start. Which one of the following protozoan parasites belongs to the phylum Epicomplexa? Now, Epicomplexa is one of the protozoan parasitic phylum. Let's see in detail. We know that Toxoplasma gonadi belongs to the phylum Epicomplexa. Leishmania donovani belongs to phylum Euglenozoa. Antamoeba histolytica belongs to phylum Amoebozoa, and Trichomonas vaginalis belongs to phylum Metamonad. Remember, these classification vary from year to year and book to book. This is the general classification I'm discussing. And for yes, this question, the answer, the phylum belongs Epicomplexa is Toxoplasma gonadi. It means option A is my correct options. The next question is, which one of the following statement is correct for Mycoplasma? A. Their cells are definite shape. They are resistant to lysis by osmotic shock. Their growth is not inhibited by penicillin, or they are non-pathogenic to human. Remember, Mycoplasma are cell wall less organisms. It means they are not going to have a definite shape. Statement A is wrong. And definitely, if they don't have a cell wall, they're going to be vulnerable to resistant. I mean, they're resistant to lysis by osmotic shock is going to be a wrong statement, because when a cell does not have a definite shape, it is going to be vulnerable to all the kind of lysis, which includes osmotic shock. They are non-pathogenic to humans. They are pathogenic to humans. Remember that. And there is only one statement which is correct here, that is, the growth is not inhibited by penicillin. Penicillin is an antibiotic which belongs to category beta-lactam. Remember, penicillin basically blocks the transpeptidase activity. Now, when the Mycoplasma doesn't even have a cell wall, okay, so how does it matter penicillin works or not? Because ultimately penicillin is going to block the transpeptidase activity, which is basically the action by which the polysaccharide chain links to each other, making a very hard and a rigid mesh-like network. Okay, so Mycoplasma doesn't have a proper cell wall, so it doesn't matter whether penicillin is there or not. It means that penicillin is not going to inhibit the growth of Mycoplasma. It means option C is my correct option. The next question is, which one of the following organelle is enclosed by a single membrane? Option A, ribosome. Option B, mitochondria. Option C, endoplasmic reticulum. Or option D, centrosome. Class, remember, most of the students are going to take ribosome, which is going to be a wrong answer. Remember, ribosome is not a true organelle. It is basically a ribonucleoprotein. And therefore, the single membrane organelle here is endoplasmic reticulum. Apart from endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus and vacuoles are other organelles which are enclosed by a single membrane. So here, option C is going to be my correct option. Next question. Pyramid of energy in a forest ecosystem is. Guys, remember, pyramid of energy is going to be upright always. It is going to be upright always. Okay, whether it is aquatic system or forest ecosystem or any other system, the pyramid of energy will be always upright. The second pyramid I am going to talk about is very important, that is inverted pyramid. Now, inverted pyramid is an exceptional case of biomass in ecosystem, in aquatic ecosystem. Remember that inverted pyramid of biomass will be found only in aquatic ecosystem. It means, so remember that pyramid of energy in a forest ecosystem is going to be upright. Option D is my correct option. Next question. In the feedback regulation of an enzyme, the end product binds to the active site of the enzyme, allosteric site of the enzyme, enzyme substrate complex, or substrate itself. Remember that enzyme has two sites. One is the active site where the substrate interacts with the enzyme. Other is the allosteric site. That is the site other than the active site is called as allosteric site. Allosteric site has its own importance. It is basically going to regulate the action of enzyme, and therefore after the reaction, there is a substrate, enzyme, enzyme substrate complex, and basically we have the product. So the product basically interact with the allosteric site of the enzyme and therefore regulating the enzyme action. So yes, option B is my correct option. The next question is, what is the source of electrons in photosynthesis? Now we know that photosynthesis require flow of electron, right? Option A, carbohydrates, option B, water, option C, carbon dioxide, or option D, NADH. Remember that the source of electron is the photolysis of water. So yes, in the presence of light, and we have oxygen evolving complex, right? So by the photolysis of water we get two things. First of all, we get electrons plus we get oxygen, right? So water is a source of electron in photosynthesis, and not only electrons, oxygen is also going to come out from the water only. So guys, remember that water plays a very pivotal role in the process of photosynthesis, and here option B is going to be my correct option. Next question. The reaction of 11-cis retinal with the lysine residue of a specific protein, the light sensitive pigment in a cell of retina. The light sensitive pigment is an. Guys, remember that in the eye, in the retina portion of the eye, we have special photoactive chemical. One of them is 11-cis retinal. Now in the reaction, in the presence of light, right, this 11-cis retinal undergoes a reaction with lysine residue, right? And the reaction results in the formation of a Schiff base. Remember that 11-cis retinal forms a Schiff base with a lysine residue in the protein opsin to form rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is basically an imine. Okay, so D is going to be my correct option. The next question. Viral capsids are made up of morphological subunits called capsomeres. One of the common capsomere is icosahedral. The icosahedron is a regular polyhedron with. Now icosahedron is basically a shape which was found in the head portion, the capsomeric portion of a virus. This shape looks like this. You can see on the left side image we have a icosahedral shape. On the right shape, it is basically the electron electron micrograph picture, the 3D schematic representation of adenovirus, which is basically a icosahedron in shape. And after through various techniques, we found that this icosahedron, which is a regular polyhedron, it consists of 20 triangular facets and 12 vertices. It means option B is my correct option. The question is, which of the following features should be present in a protein to generate strong immune response, that is antibody production in an animal? Statement A, at least one B cell epitope. Statement B, at least one T cell epitope. Or 3, proteolytic cleavage sites. Class, remember that for a protein to be immunogenic or antigenic, basically all the 3 statements should be ideal. It means that yes, the protein should generate a B cell response. It should also generate a T cell response. Plus, it has proteolytic lymphocyte so that it will be helpful for the cell to be presented in MHC. So here, option D is going to be my correct option. It means that a protein should have all the three features. Next question is, match the entries in the group 1 with that in group 2. Class, remember, whenever I'm talking about match the following question, it is a trick that you should, it is not important to remember every option. Okay, you have to know some of them. For example, I know that liposaccharide is basically an endotoxin. So R1 is going to be my first preference. Let's see in which options R1 is marked. So in option B and option C, R1 is marked. So now I am left only with the two options. So that's how you should proceed the question when asked in a format of match the following. Okay, and toxins are very important. You should know that there is a particular master's in MSc toxicology which is there. It means toxins are important, but here we are not going to do the MSc toxicology to crack the IIT JAM paper. We just need a little bit of information which is going to be coming from the microbiology that you studied. So microbiology says that lipopolysaccharide, also known as endotoxins, are large molecule consisting of lipid or polysaccharide. Neurotoxins are an extensive class of exogenous chemical neurological insults that can adversely affect the functions in both. Cytotoxins are substances which having a toxic effects on cell, while the enterotoxins is a toxin, exotoxin released by microorganism that target the intestines. So remember class that tetanus toxin is a neurotoxin, lipopolysaccharide is an endotoxin. So R1 and S2 should be my preference, and that is my option C is my most favorable option. So now you understand, right, how we can by choosing only two correct options we can finally get to a correct option in a bigger picture. So here option C is my correct option. That is, the cholera toxin is basically an enterotoxin. The diphtheria toxin is basically a cytotoxin. It affects the cell. Well, as I said, lipopolysaccharide is an endotoxin and tetanus toxin is basically a neurotoxin. So option C is a correct option. Moving on. The next question is, proenzyme pepsinogen is secreted from P of gastric mucosa and converted into active enzyme pepsin on exposure to Q secreted from R. Choose the correct combination of P, Q and R. We know that pepsinogen is a proteolytic enzyme which breaks proteins into peptides. Now, pepsinogen is an inactive form of enzyme which needs hydrochloric acid for its activity. So, and also you should know that pepsinogen is secreted by the chief cells of gastric mucosa, which is converted into active enzyme on exposure to hydrochloric acid, and this hydrochloric acid is secreted from the oxyntic cells. So option A is my correct option. Next question is, when the bacteria are grown in a glucose depleted media containing high concentration of lactose, expression of lac operon gene is activated by. So we know that in case of operons, especially the lac operon, remember lactose is not the only activator. Even in the presence of glucose, as it has been studied that bacteria prefer glucose if present in the medium over lactose. But right now we are talking about a glucose depleted media. It means that in the high concentration of lactose, expression of lac operon gene is activated by the dissociation of lac repressor from the operator site, and which binds and binding of cap complex to the cap site. So that's how a lac operon is going to be activated in the presence of high concentration of lactose. This question is basically somewhat repeated question in the previous video of 2019 as well as 2020. You can look more into it. We have already explained this concept in previous papers like 2019 and 2020. So here option B is my correct option. The next question is, match the following functions of hormone with each other. Again, it is a match of the following type question. So again, we have to find that one try breaking option. We know that aldosterone help in the reabsorption of sodium and water from the kidney. So P2 should be my preferred choice. It means option A and B could be my correct options. Option C and D are, out of the picture now. Now the second thing, let's go on second hormone, that is luteinizing hormone. I know that luteinizing hormone in female is responsible for LH surge on the 14th day of menstrual cycle, results in ovulation. But apart from the role in the female body, in case of male, it is responsible for secretion of androgen as well from the testes. Remember guys. So Q1 should be my preferred choice. So accordingly, my option B is going to be my correct option. Rest other hormones are atrial natriuretic factor, which is responsible for dilation of blood vessels and reduction of blood pressure. Whenever our blood pressure goes high, okay, it dilates the blood vessel. It increases the the cavity of the blood vessel, hence resulting in the decrease of the blood pressure. While the epinephrine is basically responsible for increase of heart rate and strength of heart contraction. Epinephrine is also called as the fright and fight hormone. So that's how it is going to be, and option B is going to be my correct option. The next question is match the entries in group 1 with the group 2. So class, in group 1 we are going to have some identifying test, and group 2 is the the things which are going to identify. So technically it's a chemistry question, it's a biochemistry question, which I'm sure all of you already have performed in your labs in colleges. So for revision, let's understand that Felling's test is responsible for to identify reducing sugar. The Nin-Hydrin reaction test is very famous for identification of alpha amino acid. Guys, remember that there is an exception for Nin-Hydrin reaction. There is only one amino acid which does not give Nin-Hydrin reaction, that is proline. It should be noted. While rest of the amino acids are positive for Nin-Hydrin reaction. The biuret reaction is responsible to find out if there is a peptide linkage or not. While the nitroprusside reaction is to find the sulfohydryl group. It means any group which is containing sulfur is to be tested with the help of nitroprusside reaction. So hence option C is my correct option. The next question is match the entries in group 1 with the group 2. Class group 1 में आपको जो molecules दे रखे हैं, these all are vitamins, right? They belongs to complex vitamin B complex, and these are the precursor molecule of all the the end product which are present in group 2. So we have to find that which vitamin is the precursor of which molecule. Remember that vitamin B1 is a precursor of thiamine pyrophosphate, while vitamin B2 is a precursor of flavin mononucleotide. Vitamin B5 is a coenzyme A, and vitamin B6 is pyridoxal phosphate. So according to our need, option D is my correct option. Class, remember these are some of the factual questions, you have to remember it. So write it down in a paper and stick it into your the doors so that you can remember them. They're very important, and these are the questions which actually give you a tie-breaking rank. Okay, so moving on. Next question is match the entries in group 1 again with the group 2. Group 1 contains some molecules, and group 2 contains some of the properties or their functions. So proline is an amino acid which is found to be cyclic in nature, so it's a cyclic amino acid. Oxytocin is a peptide hormone. It is a protein by nature. Aspartame, as we all know, artificial sweetener, and penicillin belongs to a class of antibiotics called beta-lactam. So again, let's find out which option is correct. Proline is cyclic in nature. It means option A and D could be correct. Oxytocin is a peptide hormone, and ultimately our answer is found to be option A. That is a correct option. The next question is, in the NMR spectrum, which one of the following compounds will show a triplet? Before answering this question, I would like the viewers to view the IIT JAM 2020 paper. A similar question has been asked there, and I have explained it pretty well with how to read NMR spectrum in a one go. Remember, we have to find distinct hydrogens which are differing from each other, and that is my only trick. Okay, in option A, you can see that we have three distinct hydrogen atoms. Okay, that is, on the left side we have a methyl group, on the right side we have the methyl group, and adjacent to the right side methyl group we have a single hydrogen. All the three hydrogen atoms or a set of hydrogen atom are going to give me three distinct peaks, okay, as compared to any other option present. For example, in case of option B, we are going to get only one hydrogen signal, which is going to be there. Okay, in case of C and D, we will have multiple or more than three signals. So for now, option A is going to be my correct option. Again, I request my viewers to view the IIT JAM 2020 paper where similar question has been asked and I have discussed it in details. So option A is my correct option. The next question is, which one of the following statement is a correct here? Now, this is a chemistry. Option A, BF3 is a stronger Lewis acid than Bi3. It is a wrong statement. It is not a stronger Lewis acid. Option B, CO and Cn minus are good pi-accepting ligand. This is a true statement. This is a part of coordination chemistry, and CO and Cn minus are a good pi-accepting ligands. While C, cis diamine dichloroplatinum 2 has a zero dipole moment is a false statement. It is not zero dipole. Third central atom of BCl3 is sp3 hybridized. I'm sorry, this statement is also wrong. Option B is my correct option. The next question is, the achiral molecules among the following are. Now, first of all, what are achiral and chiral molecules? The concept of chirality brings to the idea that when a molecule's mirror images are superimposable, I mean they overlap point to point, it means they are achiral. While when the mirror images of a molecule does not overlap, they are not able to superimpose with each other, it is termed as chiral molecules. Now, apart from this concept, another concept says that when a single carbon atom or a central atom is attached to four different groups, it is termed as chiral molecule. While when the molecule is attached, when the central atom of a molecule is attached with similar species, similar attaching group, it is termed as achiral. For this, the first molecule and the fourth molecule, they have superimposable mirror images. It means they are going to be my achiral molecule. Therefore, option D is my correct option. Our next question is, match the entries in group 1, that is mechanical system, with the analogous quantities in group 2, that is electrical system. Now, class, this is a physics question and it is a little tricky because in group 1, to solve this question, you have to understand, or the concepts of these quantities should be very much clear. Okay. For example, the mass is related to inductance. The spring constant is related to reciprocal capacitance, while displacement is related to charge, while velocity is related to current. Voltage should be left as blank. Now, why so? When you look into the properties of mass and inductance, spring constant, reciprocal capacitance, displacement, and charge, velocity, and current, you will find that they have similar function when I'm comparing of mechanical system with the electrical system. That's how you need to proceed with this. Plus, to make it easy, let's learn it directly, straight away. Okay, so option D, option D, yes, is my correct option. The next question is, a 30 microfarad capacitor is connected to a 240 volt 50 hertz source. If the frequency of the source is changed from 50 hertz to 200 hertz, the capacitive resistance of a capacitor will be. First of all, you have to know that a capacitor is a device which stores temporary amount of charge. Now, definitely like a resistor, capacitor also shows some resistance, which we call as reactance. The formula for such a capacitive reactance is is denoted by xc, which is equal to 1 upon 2 pi nu, which is frequency, and c is the capacitance. From the formula in the first line, we are able to understand that the capacitance, the capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to the frequency of the source. So using the basic mathematics, I am able to get that the new capacitive reactance will decrease by a factor of 4 with respect to the initial capacitive reactance. So option C is my correct option. The next question is, which one of the following shows the correct relationship among the velocity of light in a medium nu, permittivity of medium E, and magnetic permeability of medium mu? Class, remember that the velocity of light is given by the formula V is equal to 1 upon under root mu E. It means option D is my correct option. It is a very simple question. You just have to need to learn the formulas of class 12th coming from the electromagnetism chapter. So option D is my correct option here. The next question is, the nucleus of a radioactive material can undergo beta decay with half-life of 4 minutes. Suppose beta decay starts with 4096 nuclei at t is equal to 0. The number of nuclei left after 20 minutes would be. Now class, this is a question from radioactivity. It is very simple. Believe me, it is very simple. All you need to do is to find the number of generation this beta decay has occurred. For that, all you need to do is the formula total time upon half-life. Here the total time is 20 minutes and half-life is mentioned as 4 minutes. So I get 5 times. It means that 5 times, it is the 5 number of times the generation of decay has occurred. Now to find out the number of nuclei left, that is represented n t after time t, all you need to do is to substitute the value of n, which is 5, which is basically the power of 1 by 2 multiplied by 4096, the initial amount of nuclei, and you will get the final nuclei as 128. It means option B is going to be my correct option. The next question is, the area of equilateral triangle with sides of length alpha is. Now it is a class 10th formula, that is a root 3 by 4 alpha square. Alpha is the side of the equilateral triangle. Remember, equilateral triangle is a triangle with all the sides equal, all the angles, the interior angles found to be 60 degree. Okay, so to find the area of equilateral triangle, the option A is going to be my correct option, that is root 3 by 4 alpha square. The next question is, what is the solution of the mathematical expression given C is an arbitrary constant? Now to solve such a question, you need basic calculus and understanding of natural log. It will be much more easy if you try to, if you capturize the formula. Basically the mathematics shows that after solving the equation with the mentioned pick, you're going to get option B as a correct option. The next question is, the number of 3 letters word with or without meaning which can be formed using letter or word virus without repetition of letters. Now virus is a 5-letter word. This question is coming from the mathematical concept called as permutation combination basically, and for such thing there is a very simple idea. The idea is that virus is a 5-letter word and we have to find a 3-letter word. So you make 3 boxes, the 3 boxes, and the first box can contain any 5 letters, so 5. Now when I'm going to choose any 5 letter, there will be 4 letter left, so the second box is going to come 4, and similarly after choosing 2 of the letters out of 5, we're going to left with the 3 one. So therefore the expression will be 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3, that is going to give me 60. It means I can get 60 possible words which can be with or without meaning. So option C is my correct option. The next question is, if phi x is equal to x square and psi x is equal to 2x, then psi x is. Now it is again a mathematical concept. All you need to do is to put the value and solve accordingly. You're going to get 2 to the power x square. Option A is going to be my correct option. The next question is, the logic operation OR, AND, NOR or NAND carried out by the following circuit. Class, this is a basic concept of logic gate. Logic gates are very important. It do comes in the paper sometimes, and it is again a concept which can give you marks as well as rank. Here, the following image is combination of OR, AND, NOR, and NAND. After solving the A and B, you're going to get a Y input. We have to solve by solving it by putting A as 1, B as 0, and after trying such possible combination, or you can even use the concept of set. Ultimately, you're going to get the answer as C. This proper gate is going to behave as OR gate. The next question is, three vectors are as follows. These are the three vectors, and we have to find the value of A plus B dot C. Class, this is going to be basic physics as well as mathematical part. You need to understand the laws of vector addition, how these properties get mediated in the vectors, in vector addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction. So by solving the rules, first of all we have to solve A plus B. So simply the vector A and vector B addition should be there. After solving by adding vector A and B together, you're going to get minus 6 I cap, minus 4 j cap, and minus 40 k cap. The I cap represents the x axis, the j cap represents the y axis, and the k cap represents the z axis. So and addition should be done accordingly. It means I cap to I cap, j cap to j cap, and k cap to k cap. So after solving A plus B vector, we are going to get the result. And now this result should be multiplied. You know that dot C. Dot C means you're going to multiply the result, the addition result of A plus B with C. So with C, when you're going to multiply, you have to multiply similarly. You have to multiply the magnitude of I cap present in the C vector with the obtained A plus B result. Similarly, so what I'm going to do is minus 6 multiply by 11 minus 4 multiply by 0 because in C vector I don't have any j cap. Then similarly 17 will be minus 17 multiplied by the 40. By solving such a mathematical equation, you are going to get answer as 614. It means option A is going to be my correct option. The next question is the value of limit n to the infinity 3n square plus 5n plus 4 divided by 4 plus 2n square is. Now limit and continuity, you have to understand this concept. We have to use the basic formula. It works on basic formula. IIT JAM is not about so much advanced mathematics. You just need to learn the basic concepts of maths, physics, and chemistry. Okay, so and it's very easy. After solving the equation by proper mathematical operations, we are going to get the answer as 1.5. So option C is going to be my correct option. And here we end the slide, guys. This section completes here, section A, and let's wait for the next video. We're going to upload the next part soon. All the best to you. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Vigyan Ghar.